starting to think I need to check some of my other hardware in my computer. Probably the RAM. Just randomly stating that because my average time to render frames is still at 33.1 milliseconds. It's not affecting anything. Like, we're still at... How many frames missed due to rendering lag? 7 out of 24,000. Less than a fraction of a percent? Like, we're good. I'm just worrying about performance stuff in a rig that I can't afford. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I'm streaming Final Fantasy V instead of, say, Baldur's Gate. Time, mostly. I only have a couple hours to stream at the moment because I gotta pick up my fiance at about 10 o'clock-ish because they are working, and it's good for them. So I report that we should be able to get to World 3 by the end of these 2 hours, especially if I'm really good about it. Because we have access to our Gus spells, because I went out of my way to go buy those. Yeah, so we have access to all level 5 magic, unless it's time or summon, because I can't cast that, so I didn't bother buying them. So we have access to Firaga, Blizzaga, Thundaga. I am gonna riot. The way I'm going to riot is not going to be subtle. I am going to throw my fucking microphone across the room at this rate. All I did was lightly touch the cable and it disconnected the microphone. Excusez-moi. But with that, we should have, like, the second most powerful attacks. So really now it's a matter of getting X attack on our ranger and then just watching enemies perish. Once we get there, of course. My arch nemesis. And he will never not be my arch nemesis because I fucking hate Metamorph. Are you susceptible to break? I can dream, Harold. Transform. He transforms into a Gale Kitten. You are susceptible to break. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, and even in spite of the fact that I have level 5 magic now, it's still very much going to be a thing. Was there anything? No, we just have to find the correct one. And the correct one involves going to that one first, which, if I recall correctly, is like the bottom right one? Which is weird because... like, this one. No. No, he's not. He's heavy. Then get into another fight with another Metamorph. Maybe if I press Y fast enough, it'll... Oh, good! Good, you're an elf toad now. Hey now, you're an elf toad. Get the fuck out of here. That opens the way forward. We now know which one we have to put that one in. Because we accidentally put that one in there first. Where's it? Yeah, I was gonna say, there's nothing in Guido's cave, so, like, do a straight shot. The only unfortunate element of this is that we have to, like, work our way out. Food. Fight Rude, in fact. I do not recall. Was there like some reason, like something I need to be worried about here? Level 40, 900 HP. I mean, say less. I put Firaga up. Oh my god! Did enough damage or was just instant death? Okay, Gallif. Whack! We love seeing it. We love seeing so much damage. Just doesn't display a number, just dead. Or, you know, to reference historical internet shenaniganry, you know, you are dead. Not big surprise. Fun fact, I wasn't really big into, like, Team Fortress 2, and that's Shiva. I don't think I can petrify Shiva. I'm about to find out. I can petrify fake Shiva. That's stupid. I'll take it, though. Right. Nope. It's not there. Is it here? No, here. Why? You know, I feel particularly bad about it because I didn't keep the fucking fire bow, so, like... Oops. Whose fault is it other than mine in this instance? Hey, yay! Killer bow! Will never not be entertaining. Killer bow strikes again! Hark! Doth that be the legendary killer bow? Slayer of things spontaneous and humorously? My word it is. Oh, shut out your hole, criminy. Gallif. That was a mistake. On my part, mostly. And now I have to use Cure outside battle. Cool. Would it kill the game to, like, just lower this? It looks like it would lower after you push the button. I mean, I guess it might, but, like... Just saying, man. 'Tis I, Metamorph! I am here to slow your progress, because that's all that I do. I am worth nothing, will never be worth anything, and I only amount to your suffering. Good day, have a Shiva. Blurg, I have been slain. A water scroll? Goody! Garbage. Literal fucking... I can't use it, that's why it's garbage. Like, if you had, like, a ninja in your team, I suppose that could be useful in some way, but not to me. No, sir, ma'am. Could you not? Please refrain from sucking out my blood. Killer bow strikes again. Just not quite as obvious as before. Now. Now. Still not dead. And vampire. Whew, really strong vampire, that one. There we go. Like, this wouldn't be such a bad place if it weren't for the fact that just the metamorphs exist. Like, the aspects are whatever, right? But these motherfuckers... Again, as I said earlier, in my sort of half-joking manner, and now it's a fucking undead dragon. These asshats exist only to waste your time, are worth nothing, and will never be worth anything. If you drop a dragon tooth... Yeah, see, they don't even drop fucking dragon fangs. Garbage. Utter, wasteful garbage. Follow the turtle! And don't drown! Oh, hey, look, it's a turtle! Poke the turtle! Bother the turtle! Bunk, bunk! Ford, what the fuck? Leave the turtle alone! Bunk, bunk! But it's fun! Poke, poke, poke. The turtle talked! I'll be a biscuit eater. Yes, I too like to enjoy my cookies. Is the sage by the briny beard of Neptune? His name is Poseidon, thank you very much. I can't take you anywhere. Physically anyhow. Implying that he now has mental scars from being poked. Buddy, I don't think it's that traumatic. Defenseless. Yes. Absolutely defenseless. The Forest of Moor. Evil spirits. 100 years ago, Malevolence turned that tree into a dark being with a mind of its own. Literally, X-Death is a fucking tree. All I'm saying is, what if we lit him on fire? Would he regenerate then? Take this! You got a stick! It's cool! What is it? My boy, that is a stick. A dick? You need to clean out your ears. Again, don't tempt me. I might try and make a fucking abridged of this. It will be awful, because I have never written comedy in my life, if you can't tell. I'm more of a reactive kind of person. And now, under no circumstances am I allowed to teleport out of here, because such items sadly do not exist in Final Fantasy at this point, and also, sadly, I do not have a black mage to cast exit. I would if I could. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Think you'll catch a clue? Transform! Look at me! I'm a guy that's gonna flash you. I mean, that is what that enemy does. The dark aspects. Big whatever energy. Like, my multi-target ability is quite limited. Were it not so, it would very much be worth my while to, like, grind these guys and use fire spells to eliminate them, but, you know, sadly, it just takes a bit of time. Ow. Ow. If you can't tell. We're at the part of the game that doesn't require a whole lot of my focus. It's mostly just a whole lot of, well, better make sure this gets done correctly. Vampire. 100 HP, man. We are not going to kill that guy in any reasonable amount of time, huh? Yeah, no, I think he's fully healed again. Fuck you. I thought the ladies could handle it. They probably could if they were the right class. Just, you know, person with bow and chemist aren't exactly good at taking care of slimes. Though I'm surprised lighting them on fire is as effective as it is. You'd think freezing a slime should be your first like, choice. Evidently not. Shit. And he's dead. We might walk out of here with another job level up. We'll see, though. Maybe not. Do we think Fyro would be enough? We're gonna see if Fyro would be enough. Like, not the end of the world if it's not. It is not. Rather unfortunate. Oh, it is when they're in the front row. Got it. Okay, save a little MP. Big boulder. Get the hell out of here. Yay! Wasting my time. Like, it'll at least be a bit more enjoyable in the Forest of Moor. Getting random encounters, because then, like, we'll be getting halfway decent XP and ABP again. Oh, you are fucking kidding me. The base form is immune to petrification. How dare you? As I recall, it's also the most valuable form to kill. Been there, done that. I am good, and I am done here. Next, Forest of Moor. Get that done. Which... Right, we are going to need Float for the upcoming boss fight, because the Earth Crystal does its Quake shenanigans. We have to worry about... Might be a good time to have the Reflect Rings that we got equipped. Because the fire and... Oh, because fire would do blaze. I think it's just the wind one would cause problems. Because fire and ice have blaze and ice respectively, though they might still cast those styles of magics. I'll figure it out. One of those fuck it, we'll do it live moments. Alright. Got the tree branch. The forest is letting us in. Almost like we were given the key or something. I know not everything in here is weak to fire, but it's pretty much like one of the better elements to have. The Mamons are hysterical, though, because they cast Berserk on themselves, as I recall. Limiting their own combat potential. Dude. How dare you? In case. So now we do have to worry about the increased attack stat from the trees. Don't do that. And now the tree is angry. Well, specifically, the last tree is angry. Lacking some form of AoE attack is really rough. I'm now really starting to recognize. It means we stay in the fights longer. It means we risk getting hit more. Meaning we risk state assailments and HP loss, possibly death. Costing us time, resources, among a multitude of things. Here's the doodad that's like immune to most elements that I'm a little worried about. Level 34, 75 HP. No weakness. Floating. Mini mages might be immune to break. I'm mostly I am mostly more curious on whether I can break the Gala Jellies. But because I have a ranger, I can just aim at them and they can't dodge anything. Because the biggest annoyance of them is their high evasion. First, and stone you. Let's see if I can stone everything, because if I can, then there's no point in Byraga Blade. Which I can't use. You can't, Esna. And if you hit... Okay. They only have 75 HP anyway, but... How dare you? Why am I aiming there? That works. Let a master drink! Drink, 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 drink. Becomes the life of the party. Why? Six mini mages is gonna be rough. Because I need literally all of that. Denied. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. not appreciate you doing that. No. What do you mean you missed? I feel like if it's curing the status element, it shouldn't be allowed to have a mischance. This one turns into a bit more of a puzzle fight. I want to see how good Break is. Ow. Yeah, no, that's about what I expected. There's one. That will be the other. Are you susceptible to Break? You are! Hey, there really is no need for Firaga. Rude. Very rude, in fact. Hey, free other! Don't say no to that. Ferdinand 100 Gil. I always feel like I get lost in this wood. Imps. $1 million question. Can you... Bro. How dare you? He just hates me. He just hates me. Snap the fuck out of it. Alright, noted. Do not, I repeat, do not... I mean, that confuses not nearly as bad, but do not Spellblade before this fight. That is dangerous. Because that confuse could lead to some troubles. There's the fatigue. Next down. Lovely jubbly. One more chest over yonder. More imps. Are they weak to anything that I can set up the Spellblade for? 36. 2000 HP. No specific weaknesses. Just 2000 HP. Yeah, it sadly is safer to... Thanks for that. Just kick their ass until they're dead, because otherwise, like, I have to deal with either elemental attacks that will do more damage than they really need to do, or petrify. And admittedly, of the two, I'd rather deal with, like, elemental attacks, but even then, I'm not that desperate. Not that desperate to see them dead if all they're doing is just confusing me. he mad? Oh, I didn't even realize I killed one of them instantly. That one's dead. So focused on the strategy, just... Oh, one of them died. Cool. Why? Okay, but why? Want to heal yourself, Galuf. Another high potion. Let's go. 9,500 gil. Same enemy group. So second verse, same as the first. Ow. No, apparently in, like, Final Fantasy VII, there is an Easter egg that if your HP gets lowered to 7,777 from an attack, I also think you need, like, 777 MP, then the character goes berserk, and all of their attacks deal 7,777 damage. And while that sounds like a fucking playground rumor levels of, like, that's not true, apparently it is actually a thing. Hello, Ginger, how is you? And, like, apparently it is something that, like, speedrunners will use when speedrunning the original Final Fantasy VII. I think it is hysterical, but it also terrifies me. Nah, boo-boo. Bonk yourself in the head. Go forward, Galuf and Ferris all leveled up, and we got another high potion. How does one just simply not get lost in this forest, man? Feels wild. That is Dargon. Okay, well, specifically it's a worm. That is Dargon. It is not immune to petrify. That was its first mistake. Free cottage. Liath tonic. Well, that's just rude. And while rude, I can also just say, hey, fuck you. And I win. I also don't have fucking dragon teeth. This bullshit. I'm still exhausted. I actually took off from work today because of my exhaustion. Very much I don't want to be working when there's a high probability I will make mistakes because I am just barely conscious. It overrode my aim! I think it would at least still do an aim. How dare you, game? No, knock it off. A little bit sad about Ether Gazer ending updates. That is quite disappointing, because we'll be real, that's going to be an inevitability no matter, like, if the game was wildly successful and still getting updates or not. That's just the harsh, stark, cold truth of the matter. No game is going to be a forever game on the, quote, live service, unquote, model. But that's still kind of shitty, right? Because, like, when did Ether Gazer come out? Not even just globally, in general, like 2-3 years ago? Like, that feels so short-lived, you know? Game, I would think that a game should be allowed some decent length of time of, you know... And... Did you just... Cast Cure. Some decent amount of time of, like, just being allowed to exist in the culture of things. You did not. 3rd anniversary for Global was around March. Okay, so it's been out globally for about 3 years. That is the only way to circumnavigate AIM. Okay. So it's been out for a little bit longer than that. A decent run then, but still, feels too short-lived. And it is an unfortunate reality of the present market of things. Probably why I'm very stubborn about, like, the kinds of games that I enjoy, because, like, I'll be real, Uma Musume is going to go the way of the donkey at some point. The way of the donkey? No, the way of the dodo. That... Because it will not last forever. So it's good to just enjoy what you got for as long as you can. And with that in mind, you know, spend responsibly, and keep in mind that most of the stuff that you're getting in the game is not... You know, a goodish news is that they at least plan on giving people time to enjoy the story. Yeah, no, that's good. Like, we enjoy seeing that kind of stuff. Why? Why? Fuck all y'all! I am going to demolish that goddamn imp. Please cast Berserk on the imp. Fuck. I had one request. Needlessly evasive little bitch. Well, no, looking at how monetization worked and why you would spend, it was kind of too free-to-play friendly. I could see that. And of course you're immune to break, so there's like literally no point in doing that. Uh-oh. But, like, we also... personally, I like seeing games that are free-to-play friendly. I feel like Uma Musume is fairly free-to-play friendly. The most unfriendly aspect of for free-to-play players is that, like, hey, do you want good and maxed out Uma Musume? Shell out money just so that way you can cap out your cards and cap out your Umas. Because otherwise, that's not gonna happen, bud. Barring that, though, like... I feel like Uma Musume does it well. The biggest thing I feel like with Ether Gazer... that there was more elements for showing off the game, not so much, like... showing off to other players, I guess? It's difficult, I feel like. I'm not a game designer in this case, and I don't really like thinking about how to make a free-to-play live service-esque game work. Not something I like. Go in. Like I noted on Discord, that minus like 2 branches of content, you could throw a party together at random and actually have it clear the content. Checks out. But I want the tread. Oh, there we go. Aegis shield. Because if I wait, that'll turn into a fire shield. So we obviously don't want to wait. And sometimes negates magic spells. Actually really fucking good. Granted, goes from a 35% evasion rate to a 1 in 3 chance, 33%, but I will take it. Rather fitting on a Mystic Knight. But yeah, I feel like in some regards, right? Like, along with the story content basically not being gated past release events and my few chapters not being able to use your characters. Right, and that was one of the big things that was noteworthy and a complaint of mine, was that a lot, especially a lot of the early story, you played through that with game-provided characters. Not a bad decision by itself, but it does take a lot of the player expression out of the game at that point, right? But that also, like, it gets worse with later chapters. Oh, goody. Meaning that, like, there's no player expression for the story content, and then there's no real need to grind outside of the occasional chapter that will stop you because it's like, hey, use your party. When the player, for the most part, will be asking why. When most of the story, I've just been given the characters to rent for free. Ash, which is quite literally garbage, because I cannot use it. I'm sure somebody would hear me say that sentence and be like, you can use Ash? Yes, you can. It's a ninja throne weapon. Not a great one, but it is one. Chapter 11 and 12 allow freeform, but gives good rentals. Chapter 19 forces a few rolls and allows fill-in. Big oof. Because I don't... My big thing is I don't dislike the idea of doing the whole, like, here, play with this character that you may not have aspect, right? Because that's like, hey, try this character. Do a trial of them. Chapters 13 to 13, entirely forced character selection. Ew. Like, I don't mind doing that, because it's supposed to incentivize the player. Hey, is this character fun to play? Yes? Well, guess what? They're in, like... I actually can't equip the Flame Tongue, because it's a night weapon. No, that's that. Well, you can go roll for them, because they're part of the banner or whatever. Petrify. Just need to hit them. And, like, you know, another potential way to do that is kind of like an Uma Musume. It's like, hey, there's a PvP mode. You keep getting your ass whooped by another player's Uma Musume? Well, here they are. You can go roll for them. Again, outside of minor period, when iterative testing was introduced, no in-game content that actually wanted characters past S grade. Which, that's just a balancing issue. But another issue there, if we're to, like, discuss it, is to discuss, like, again, I am by no means a game designer, so everything I say is very much to be taken with a grain of salt. And oh, by Fletchy, I forgot to fucking come in here with float on everybody. And 5 stars start at S rank. Right. Because that's just how they are. That speaks to the game having, like, a not great progression balancing, which can be a problem in, like, MMORPGs, right? And that's the kind of game design that I'm more fascinated by, is, like, games that I actually like to play. RPGs and MMORPGs have very similar desires in how they want to design their games. They want to have, you know, a steadily increasing difficulty curve. You know, from the start, it's pretty easy, so that way you can grasp and learn the ropes, and then it kind of starts to curve up and up and up until we start getting towards the end game, where things start to feel genuinely difficult. Or if you're a bad RPG, stats are so fucking inflated that it's just tedium ad nauseum. And those are, like, the two, by and large, design philosophies that try to be practiced by, like, an MMORPG, mostly. And RPGs in general. But that's to, like, the sum of everything is that the balance of free currency, the only thing players would really need to spend for would be for costumes, which we've gotten for approximately $25 an update. But, you know, in fairness, that's generous. That's nice. Would that it were, you know, better for the developers, so that way they could actually get their money's worth out of designing that, but that's neither here nor there. MMORPG, that design curve is how you want to design from the start to the end of the MMORPG. That is your on-ramp to the endgame content. That is where you want your player base to stick, so that way they, like, spend their money and play the game, right? So you also need to have a decent deal of endgame content that players will feel satisfied by playing and continue to iterate upon. But that does require having a good deal of skill level, or if we're going to look at it from the design perspective of a gacha game, like Aether Gazer, or we could throw some other ones in here, fucking Genshin Impact, Endless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, any sort of, like, gacha game, even Uma Musume, to an extent, can actually be lumped in here as well, because its endgame is its PvP content, where you are playing against other players, and, like, you are trying to optimize the stats and skills that your Uma Musumes have when playing against other people. That is what they want you to lock in on, and why you want to keep coming back. So it needs that good, great, even endgame design. So you need to have a solid on-ramp to that endgame. Lag would be killer in Aether Gazer for PvP. Aether Gazer doesn't need PvP. That does not need to be its endgame content. What it would need something that would make its endgame enjoyable and playable. It needs content there. For MMORPGs, generally, that's late or endgame rating. That's content that you play with several groups of people to then try and clear difficult content. Similarly, for a game like Aether Gazer, that could be its main selling point. Is content that, like, gets harder and harder and harder as, like, you as a player progress and, like, punch it and punch it and punch it over and over again. That, like, by some element has to be overcome by skill. Like, we still want to create a video game here. There are kind of guild raids, just didn't update it since chapter 10. That is an issue in and of itself. Not wholly related to the idea of like having the content in the first place. That is a different issue. That's called management issues. As well as rather than like fucking examining it, deciding if they need it still, and cutting it if they didn't, or revamping it if they felt they needed it, just fucking letting it sit there and rot. That is a wholly other issue, whole different issue. But yeah, you could have content in Aethergazer that requires even single-player effort to like keep clearing and keep trying and like learning and getting further and further and further and further, like a 1,000 floor dungeon, basically. And the idea is like you chip and poke and prod and break into it as far and as far and as far and as far and as far as you can until you reach the bottom. And that's where, like, you can get bragging rights or whatever the fuck. And it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be at least a little bit skill-based. But also, you need the right shit. You need the right setup. You need to have the optimization. Which is part of where that design philosophy for, like, an MMORPG comes in. Because, yes, raiding is a lot of skill. It is a lot of communication. It is a lot of, like, understanding the mechanics and everything. But it is also optimizing your ability order and combos, having gear that works, that's min-maxed in its statting and everything. It is so many little different things that requires a multitude of different grinds and understandings. Yeah, and in a gacha optimization is having done all the polls. For the characters, there are other aspects to Aethergazer that maybe could have used some work. But there is, like, equipment optimization in Aethergazer as well. There are elements of the game that could have been brought into the design philosophy of endgame content that would have asked players to, you know, hey, min-max your shit and see how far you can get into this thing, right? And then there's max difficulty hazard zone attacks, which consistently had score maxed, which is not great. I'm now imagining endless wave thing where you just go up against ever stronger waves till you fail with a leaderboard. No, exactly. Like, there you go. That's a very simplistic end game thing. And that even incorporates a PvP element, because now you're competing against other players for the top spot. And you can do weekly or monthly payouts with that. Best players get X. Players that slot in these areas get Y. Players that participated at all get Z. You can do stuff like that. It asks for players to keep playing, invest their time, and get better, right? And that's also me literally looking at Uma Musume and realizing, hey, it's ranked mode. It's PvP shit does this. I am currently in, I call it Division 5. It's like one below the top division. For like ranked PvP. Because I average like 600,000 score every time I do races against other players. And I just sit there. But I participate, and I still even consider, like, I want to do a little bit more min-maxing. I want to get a little bit better. I want to keep doing this thing and keep playing the career and trying to optimize my decks and stuff so I can just push myself a little bit higher. Get into the next division. Get into the next ranking so I can get a bigger reward. So that way I can perform better in these monthly PvP events that have even bigger rewards. Yeah, that's my big point. Aethergazer sucked at endgame content. Told a beautiful story with wonderful characters, but failed to give you reasons to fully invest. No, and that's, like, based on everything about Aethergazer that I understand, it would have made a phenomenal start-to-end single-player experience. as a fully purchasable $60 game. Where it failed as, like, you know, that's the whole point why we're having this discussion even in the first place, or at least as I broached the subject and maybe missed the point a little bit until being reminded, like, hey, Aethergazer's endgame content sucked, that's why we're bringing this up at all, is Aethergazer failed at being a mobile game. It failed at being a live service game. Which sucks, and that happens, and I do wish the team well, and I hope, beyond hope, really, that, like, they are able to either retain the rights to Aethergazer, maybe finish the story as they wanted to finish it and release it as a single-player experience, or go off and do something themselves. One such game or experience that I've heard apparently has quite some success and have at least a little bit of interest in, oh my god, is the Project Moon stuff. Project Moon being the Limbus Company gacha game. Which, admittedly, is a really risky project on paper, because from what I understand, that is in-house developed and self-published. But, like, if the devs behind Aethergazer are really invested in their own game's story, and they can retain the right somehow, I would kind of hope they could pull off what Project Moon has done. Because that would be kind of neat. Because I also think that, like, the lore and story, as much as I poke fun at some aspects of it, and the voice acting in particular, of Aethergazer is quite gripping, is quite good. And I wasn't even that far into it. Well, there are like 5 devs on the project. Everyone else got moved to other projects. Well, now, but you know what I mean. The people that, like, put their soul into the game, hopefully they can, like, retain it somehow. Because seeing shit die sucks. And it's why movements like Stop Killing Games pop up and, like, they don't want these things to just disappear where people can no longer experience them. And why I feel like while, again, I agree with the underlying message and desire of Stop Killing Games, I don't agree with how fucking vague the current version is, as well as I don't necessarily agree with this idea that, like, everything needs to be left up to the developer to determine how they're going to make this shit continuously work. Because, like, you know, let's be real, that is quite a bit of overhead. That is true. But also, like, maybe one day we'll have something like that in effect, where it's not a concern about losing the art and the experiences and the passion that was written, and thus these experiences become very ephemeral, because it sucks when it's just ephemeral, when it very reasonably was a, like, product and isn't an experience like a concert. Like, a concert being ephemeral makes more sense than a video game being ephemeral. Because the concert requires the people and the whole vibe and the venue and everything to be present all at the right time, all in the right place. It's like having an in-game event. That being ephemeral, that's fine, right? I can't expect, like, a video game to recreate the same event year in and year out and expect it to have the same results every fucking year. Never going to. Same with a concert, you know? But I at least can expect that the fucking video game should last. So people can experience it, right? But anyway. Me being on my soapbox. And blowing out my fucking vocal cords again. Oh no! And due to some shenanigans, we can't understand what these things are. But they're sealed in here, for some reason. Alright, we do have scan and stuff, so we can get a better grasp on all this. What was the mix again? Antidote. Kiss. Yep. At level 77. 7,777 HP, no specific weakness. Specific weakness. I don't think any of them have specific weakness, no? Yeah, no. They have particular absorbances, but they don't have any particular weaknesses. I think it was the bottom one that's the earth one. The back one, I think, is like water or something. Oh yeah, you don't have a drink. I'm being harassed by the cat. The cat seems to think it's time for food. We have 25 minutes. That'll protect us from some bullshit. The other thing is we want to get shell prepped. Your spell blades are not particularly useful here. Just gonna start working on them in order. That one helps, like, at all. I think we've got pretty much the appropriate amount of preparedness. Outside of Lena drinking a Goliath drink to double HP and a power drink to then just raise... Oh no! Rest! Goliath, power, and hero cocktail. Not doing a thing. There's Aqua Breath. Yeah, it's like nothing. Thanks in large part to being prepared, so now we know which one's the water. Water dealt with. Again, I think the bottom one is Earth. I'm pretty sure the back one is Wind. Oh, if only haste. That's fire, all right. God for Shell. Okay. Ow. Deal with this one, because again, I think that's the Earth one. If it's Arrow, that's not a big deal, honestly. Like, we are prepared for the magic spells, just period. The Earth one. And that makes Wind. Right, it's Wind, and that's a Wind Dagger. Oh god, not Aeroga. A spell that does little to no damage, because I am prepared for your bullshit. Cat, you will be fed in like 18 minutes. Very easy. And turns out we fucked up. Because these are the crystals. Oops. And now we're in trouble. Oh, no, wait, I just realized. Galif is a white mage. Oh, no! Well, that's not good. And next it's like, oh shit! Turn back on the death beam! And Galif is rightfully like, fuck the crystal! Next up! Wait! That's awkward. I don't have anything he can equip that does no damage. It doesn't heal him. Does heal X death. Goody. Wonderfully. Have at you. Why aren't I hurting you? And this certainly is awkward. I know, Gravica can't hurt Galif. He has 0 HP. Since gravity gets rid of a percentage of HP. What is a percent of 0? That's right, kids. 0. In theory, I'm not supposed to be stuck here for forever and a day, but... I did think of something. Don't I have access to reflect? Yeah, that might help. Stop hitting yourself. Of course, it doesn't last long enough. I can't! I can't! That is fucking hysterical. I can't resurrect myself. I can't heal myself. And now I'll show you my true power. There we go. Oh, real scary. Why won't you die? Nope, denied. Denied. He's really trying. Would never be enough to defeat me. No. This isn't anger or hatred. Next, it's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Well, Kryle's gone clinically insane. The shock of losing her grandfather has caused her to start hearing his voice. Yeah, because like how else would Kryle have gotten here? Me? Would have been quite the grand entrance, huh? Just fucking crashes a meteor into the tree. Grandpa, I'm here to help! Again! Now, conveniently, there's a way out of here. I actually don't know what happens if you try to cross the big bridge again. And look, there's Kryle! She has kitty ears. Alright, everybody who tried to assault the castle is dead. It's now up to us. Blind wolf! I also realize Kryle is in the front row. You need to be in the back row, Missy. Are they weak to anything special? Or anything I can exploit? Good. Apparently they're also blind. I don't know about that one, Chief. I prefer it. Oh, come off it. Being harassed by a cat because this cat wants food 2 minutes early. Heather. Diamond Shield. Which we already had. Thanks, game. Reflect Mages! Another place I can get Reflect Rings. I believe, but I no longer need them. We're doing this now, I see. Really? No. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. Oh, knock it the fuck off already. Alright, I'm gonna take a second to go feed the cat. You ready to be fed, Marnie? Yeah, alright. Resuming. Why? Ow. There we go. Galuf, give me strength. Now, meanwhile, completely unrelated. Calgar just up and dives. And now from stone to flesh. Music's only a little inappropriate. Kill the Hellraiser first because it's got that Arise ability. World 3, but not get that far tonight. Magic Dragon! Let me heal you with my stick! No! What do you mean, no? Sorry, I was reactive. I didn't want to get hit with the stick. Ford really does not want to be healed. Like, fuck, man. Just let the stick touch you. It'll be fine. Really? Magic Dragon successfully got a back attack on us. Ow? Yeah, ow. Yet another Magic Dragon. And that's one less dragon to deal with. Oh, that's nifty. I didn't realize that was there. Ah, the Black Warlock. Huh. Well, unfortunately for them, it wasn't my intention to actually, like, cast magic. And she fixed herself. I do have to worry about level 5 death, though. Unfortunately, we all are level 30. There we are. Good adventure goes left. Really don't like my turn being wasted like that, but I mean, hey. Well, now that's very, very not nice. Man? Uncalled for. Dear. Yeah, that one's not happening. There is a bow in that one. Fuck. Ow. Not as cool as the killer bow, but I'm not going to complain about it shooting multiple arrows at once. Ew. With it. Okay, that is almost exactly why we need to be careful around things that can confuse us. Acceptable. Now to fix the bullshit. You mean miss. Okay. Nope. I don't know about this one. $37. What about the lightning? Oh, right. Trial, level 30. 875 HP, no specific weaknesses. Now I'll determine if Break can petrify the adamantite golem. I don't think it can. It's a golem. That's about what I thought. And we win. Now we know it's weak to thunder. I do not want to see him get hit by Confuse. Well, insta-kill. Alright. Oops. Irish, goddammit. Okay. What that can get rid of fire. Or, I'm sorry, slow. Spellblade level 6! Mastered! really we want to trade the Ranger and the Mystic Knight jobs. So I will wait until 49 more ABP fares before swapping. So mutant level 5 death again, for the most part. I see we chose violence today. Five to go. Not an abductor. Why are they so needlessly tough? Tetsu. Ice Brand, which I also can't equip. We loathe to see it. Ow. I don't understand how these fucking wolves work. Like, they're blind, but they're also super evasive. Like, why? Frustrating, man. There's a blind wolf. Use another tent. A-do-do-do-do-do. We're barely even halfway through, and that's gonna be about the amount of time I've got. Yeah. Yeah, alright. I'll conclude today here. I may stream a little bit more tomorrow, because we're running a little tight on time for the Four Job Fiesta time frame. Because right now, it is towards the end of July, and this goes until the end of August. And I would like to get this done before we're at the end of August. So, folks, thank you again very much for sticking around to the end of the stream. Your time is one of your most valuable resources, and I appreciate you spending even a minute of it here, because we folks to yap at, talk to, discuss game design philosophies regarding shit like, again, Ether Gazer, as well as just in general, show off cool games and cool challenge runs that support cool stuff, like the 4-Job Fiesta for Final Fantasy V. And also, I've heard very good things about Limbus Company, to, like, circle back to that really quick. If I can, I do want to buy and play the other, like, Project Moon games, which is Library of Ruina, and apparently the worst of the three, and, like, its story is great, but its gameplay is kind of eh, which is Lobotomy Corporation. These are all, like, horror-adjacent games, by the way. So, if you need a new gacha game because your old and favorite gacha's gotten not taken off the market, hey, why don't you go take a look at that one? It's, like, independently owned and published, which is fucking unheard of in the gacha world. So, hopefully they're around for a good long while. Anybody that I want to raid for the time being? That's a great question. Maybe we should get an answer to that question. What do you mean there is a bunny boy playing Final Fantasy V, and he's bad at it? Somebody playing Final Fantasy V, and apparent bunny stars with a Z. Ugh. Lots of people I follow are streaming right now. And depending on how you look at that, that could be a good or a bad thing. Lots of choice. I know I actually mentioned, Limbus Company. Streaming. 4. You know what? I followed them. They called me out for it. This feels only natural. We're going to raid a PB and Jebby because, they're a friend of somebody that I already followed. I had seen them on that stream, and I'm like, why am I following this person? So I did. And now they're playing Limbus Company. And I'm gonna be real. The tactics and turn-based shenanigans intrigue me, and I want to see more. So we're raiding them. Anyway, folks, please remember you're always welcome here at Mana's Potion. And I will see you next time.